Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Now the second set of meditations. 27, verse number? 27. 24, 25, 26 is internal. Then 27 onwards is external. Hridiva bahya deshepi, hridiva bahya deshepi, yasmin kasminscha vastuni, yasmin kasminscha vastuni, samadhiradya sanmatrat, samadhiradya sanmatrat, namarupa prithak-kritihi, namarupa prithak-kritihi. The first kind of samadhi is possible with the help of any external object, as it is with the help of an internal object. In that samadhi, the name and form are separated from what is pure existence. Now, external samadhi. External samadhi does not mean that the object will go into samadhi. I will go into samadhi. But how? Whatever we see in the world, notice that it is an ocean of existence. Table is, chair is, a human being is, the plant is, mountain is, sky is, wind is, space, akasha is. Everywhere we find this isness, existence. You can feel it. Usually we speak in this way, an object is. Vedanta speaks in the opposite way. They will not say that table is. What Vedanta wants to say is isness tables, isness chairs, isness humans, or isness is a mountain, isness appears as sky and air. This very simple but subtle sense of the existence of all things. This is not directly Brahman, this is borrowed from Brahman, let us say, from Sat. This is what we call Asti Bhati Priya, this is the Asti part of it, the Asti aspect of it, the isness aspect of it. And this is found in any object, in anything external. And we can concentrate on this. He says the way to do it is Yasmin kasminscha vastuni. Take up anything and any object. You can take up a glass of water also. You can take up a flower. Then he says Sanmatrat namarupa prithak-kritihi. Try to appreciate the isness. Try to appreciate the gold in all golden ornaments. Apart from whether it is a bangle or a necklace or a ring, the gold in all the golden ornaments, the wave, the water in all the waves. Similarly, the isness everywhere. Imagine this as an ocean of isness, and all objects big and small are like waves and bubbles and foam in this ocean. Every bit of it is isness. Now, a secret here, it will not remain external. When you actually try to do this, you will immediately feel like closing your mind and staying with the sense of existence. Very soon you will note it is your own existence. The external object will be dropped. The external object is just to remind you of existence. Then please close your eyes and go inside and stay with the sense of isness. See, this I am, we all have this. Usually when we say I am, it is, now we know what it is. It is the ego shining in reflected consciousness. The sense of I, reflected consciousness, ahankara. But the I am actually is pure consciousness. If you remove all the limitations, the mind, the prana, the indriyas, the buddhi, remove means try to see the I am other than anything else. I am a man, I am, my name is I am a Swami, I am sitting in this chair. Forget all that. Forget the body. Forget means don't focus on that. Just the sense of I am. This bare I am. Now even here there are two parts. One is the I part, one is the am part. The I part is the consciousness part of it. The am part is the existence part of it. The I part is the bhati part of it. The am part is the asti part of it. Earlier three meditations were on the I part of it. These three meditations are on the am part of it. All these things are not mentioned here, but this is what it will become if you try to do it. It is a meditation on your own sense of existence. Why on your own? Did it not say all the universe? This is the thing. We have to understand that the sense of existence that we see in all these objects, it's entirely borrowed from you. It is because you feel I exist, then the universe exists. And you carry around with you your sense of existence. Wherever you go into a dream objects will feel like they are real, is. Come out of your dream and when it becomes a memory, they will not feel real anymore. So, this isness is your isness. It is that am part of the I am. The chit or the bhati is the I part of the I am. This is one way of analyzing. Ridiva, internally, bahya deshapi, externally also. Open your eyes. You can see God with open eyes. Seeing God with open eyes. I met a sadhu in the Himalayas. I'm saying in the Himalayas. Here. Today we just saw Gangotri. I met a sadhu in Gangotri. He had a cottage. The cottage is still there. He passed away. He was, you have heard of Swami Chinmayanandaji, Chinmaya Mission? So his guru was Tapovan Swami. Tapovan Swami's sevak was Sundaranji. For many, many decades he served. So I met Swami Sundaranji and he told me many, many stories of those old times. Now, his guru gave him some special instructions. He would give this line from Kabir Das. Khule nain dekhun sahab ko. With open eyes do I see my Lord. Khule nain. He said, you will see God in the Himalayas and the Ganga. So that became a special practice for the rest of his life. This old monk, he would try to see Brahman in the Himalayas and in the Ganga. He became a noted photographer afterwards. His photographs have been published actually in a book called Himalaya. All the photographs are of Himalaya and Ganga. Khule nain dekhun sahab ko. So where is God in all this? It is that isness everywhere. And it actually becomes dominant. Right now the names and forms are dominant for us. It's clearly a mountain. It's clearly a human being. It's clearly a plant. But for the enlightened one, the isness becomes dominant. They will say it is clearly Shiva. Shiva is meditating. So many monks have said. Shiva is, look, he is meditating as this mountain. Look how he sits. Mountain is just a form, a name and a form. But the isness is that Shiva nature of everything. Khule nain dekhu sahab ko. Another thing he repeated, again he had heard from his guru. Pashya devasya kavyam yona jiryati na mamara. Look upon the poetry, this is from Rig Veda. Look upon the poetry of the Lord, which neither decays nor dies. And he swept his arm around, showing me in the Gangotri, he's showing me there, this look around. This is the poetry of God. It neither decays nor dies. This is a meditation like that. With open eyes. Sri Ramakrishna would say, with eyes closed, God is there. With eyes open, God is not there. What kind of God is this? So with eyes open also we can see. We appreciate God as the sense of existence in everything. Here I want to read something to you which is very pertinent here. Same thing in the language of bhakti, you see. How it can be made manifest in our day-to-day lives. Not only here, but you can go back to Delhi and Gurgaon also you can do this. This is a book called Paramartha Prasanga. In English it is Towards the Goal Supreme. And it's written by Swami Virajanandaji Maharaj, the great monk of our order. Practically he was a disciple of Swami Vivekananda, although technically he is initiated from Holy Mother. But he was very close to Swami Vivekananda. And Mantra Diksha, of course, Holy Mother is his guru. And he spent years and years in long austerities here, not very far, in a place called Shamlatal. There is a monastery there, very beautiful ashram is there. So he established that ashram and he spent years and years in very deep meditation, continuous. There are records of him, accounts of him meditating 10, 12 hours a day. Of him sitting and doing japa, and a light rain starts falling, he gets drenched, and by the heat of his body, the water vaporizes. He's still doing japa. So like this. Now, he wrote this book. All his accumulated spiritual treasury, instructions, he poured into it. This is in the form of points, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very useful for sadhaks. Very useful for sadhaks. Packed with lot of insights, which you will not get generally directly in a text like Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka or Panchadashi. Here you will get. Now he says in one place, I will read the original Bengali and translate. সংসার যদি করতেই হয় তো ভগবানকে নিয়ে সংসার করো. If you must be in samsara, then be in samsara with God. How? যা কিছু করবে, দেখবে, শুনবে, ভাববে, সবই ভগবান. See, this is the crucial, the key. Whatever you do, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever thought comes in your mind, all of it is God. Straightforward, it is God. How it is God? Now we see. An explanation of it. Asti bhati priyam. In everything asti bhati priyam is there. Bhagavaner sange khela mai kheluri. Play, it is a play with God. Samsara is a play with God. And who plays with you? Mother. Ma. মা আমায় নিয়ে খেলা করছেন জানলে জগৎটা আরেক রকম হয়ে যাবে. If this is your attitude, if you know that mother is playing with me, then this world will be transformed. তখন দেখবে জগৎ সংসারে সুখও নেই, দুঃখও নেই, অভাব নেই, অশান্তি নেই, রাগ, দেশ, লোভ, হিংসা, মোহ নেই, স্বার্থ, দ্বন্দ্ব, আমি আমার নেই, আপন পর নেই, ছোট বড় নেই. Then you will see in this world, in samsara, there is no pleasure or pain. There is no lack, abhava. There is no restlessness or anxiety, ashanti. There is no, likes and dislikes, preferences and, detest. You like something and detest something else. No, it is all mother. No greed, no hatred, no delusion. There is no selfishness. There is no dvandva means like conflict and contradiction, which is samsara is full of that. Should I do this or that? There is no conflict or contradiction anymore. There is no I and mine. There is no ours and I and the other. These are mine and they are other. Apon par. There is no greater or lesser. They are all same. কেবল আছে অফুরন্ত আনন্দ অসীম প্রেম. There is only inexhaustible bliss and limitless love. Now your love cannot be limited because it's all mother. All of them are mother. সে আনন্দে কণামাত্র পেলে বিষয়ের আনন্দ তুচ্ছ হয়ে যায়. সেই প্রেমের এক কণা পেলেও সমস্ত জগৎ আপনার হতেও আপনার হয়ে যায়. প্রতি লোমকূপে অপার্থিব সুখ ভোগ হয়. If you get even a particle of that bliss, then the joys, the pleasures of worldly, desires, fulfilling worldly desires, they become utterly despicable. They become insignificant. If you get one particle of that love, then the whole world becomes more yours than your own. Apanar hoteo apanar hoye jay. And he says, in every hair of your body, hair follicle of your body, bliss will shine forth. An unearthly bliss, aparthibo shukh bhog hoy. সে খেলায় ভয় নেই, ভাবনা নেই, বন্ধন নেই, অবসাদ নেই, নিত্যই নূতন খেলা. In that play with the mother, there is no fear, there is no anxiety, there is no bondage, there is no depression, and it is ever new. Daily it is new. And he goes on like this. Something clearly he has experienced. So, He's speaking. The same Advaitic thing, now you dress it up as mother, or as Krishna, or as Ramakrishna, as your spiritual orientation is. And then see what samsara is like. This Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka makes this thing real. Otherwise, what will happen? What he said for us will become like an imagination, like a good, nice spiritual practice. I have to imagine everything is mother. This shows you the same Satchidananda with these names and forms is this samsara. This is what it is telling us. Instead of saying, I am all this, you can, if it's too difficult, say mother is all this. That might be easier for many.
Swami says that practice meditation 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening for 3 years. So that kind of contradicts with what he said, go with your own pace. So could you just give a light on that?
He and others also, Swami Brahmananda and others, they would inspire you. Practice hard. Go at your own pace does not mean take it easy and be lazy. Remember, I said go at your own pace and don't be lazy. Don't overdo, make a sprint and then collapse. Now people have it, overdo it, nervous breakdown, whatnot. That's one side. The other side is lazy. It will happen in its own time. Everything else in the world we are up and doing, God realization will happen in its own time. Then what will happen? Use a text. This is object. You've taken an object and see existence. But that existence becomes your own existence. Next, 28. Text-based. Akhanda ekarasam vastu, akhanda ekarasam vastu, satchidananda lakshanam, satchidananda lakshanam, ityavichinna chinteyam, ityavichinna chinteyam, samadhir madhyamo bhavet, samadhir madhyamo bhavet. The entity which is always of the same nature and unlimited by time, space, etc., and which is characterized by existence, consciousness, bliss, is verily Brahman. Such uninterrupted reflection is called the intermediate absorption, that is the Savikalpa Samadhi associated with sound or object. Not sound or object, is associated with text. Anyway, Akhanda ekarasam vastu. When you think in this way, contemplate in this way, you will find the entire universe is one unbroken isness, an ocean of existence. And ekarasam, this is a word that is used in Vedanta again and again. See, the ocean, wherever you taste it, what is it? Salty. Top, middle, bottom, Pacific, Atlantic, salty. This universe, when you realize it is isness alone, wherever you taste it, it's Brahman alone. It is isness alone. Ekarasam. In the high and the low, in the learned and the poor, in the rich and the poor, learned and the ignorant, rich and the poor, in the saintly and the sinner, in mighty mountains and in tiny grain of dust, in an elephant and in an ant, in quasars and in quarks, everywhere that one isness, isness, isness. Quite obvious. Shankaracharya says in Aparoksha Anubhuti, when you think in this way, he says, just as when you look at a pot, the clay blazes forth, he says, bhasuram. Isn't it? When you look at this table, contemplate this, wood is blazing forth. If you look at a wave, water is blazing. What do I mean blazing forth? It is through and through water. This is through and through wood. This universe is through and through existence. It is just a light coating of name and form and activity. So, for the enlightened one, every experience speaks to them of Brahman. Swami Ashokanji would say, where will I see God? Foolish question. Where will you not see God? One sadhu expounding on Purusha Suktam, Sahasra Shirasa Purusha. So with the 1,000 head, Purusha, this is Virat, with 1,000 heads looking at you. The Vishwarup Darshan which Arjuna had in 11th chapter, Krishna gave him. So this manifest God, the Virat, in 1,000 ways God is reaching out to you. This is actual, it may sound rhetorical, but here he is making it absolutely a living reality. Where are we? We are immersed in God. We think we are immersed in the world and looking for God. Vedanta makes that God more practical than anything else. Every experience is filled with isness, isness, isness. Akhanda ekarasam, unbroken, no gap. Ekarasan, ever the same, never different. What is that? Vastu, reality. What is that Vastu? Satchidananda Lakshanam. Isness, isness. Awareness, consciousness, consciousness. Bliss, bliss. Vastu, Vastu kaisi hai? Aisi hai. This is the reality. Iti avichinna chintayam. This kind of unbroken thought will lead to the second, madhyama, the middle samadhi or second kind of samadhi. We know what second kind of samadhi. First kind of samadhi, this is external samadhi with support using an object. Bahya savikalpa samadhi, Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka savikalpa samadhi. This one is Bahya Shabdanuviddha savikalpa samadhi. Then if you keep doing, after some time, it will merge into Nirvikalpa samadhi. Yes.
Sorry, Swami, I'm not able to get, I can understand the sequence in the first one.
Yes.
Where there was if you will miss the second, you can go back to the first.
Yes.
I'm not seeing that kind of a layering in the second.
The same layering. You see this world. Now you appreciate that this is, that is, this one is. Then concentrate on the isness. And I said the link is, there you withdraw inside. Stay with the sense of isness, which becomes your sense of isness. I exist, that isness. You say, stay with that. Now, appreciate it. You see, this isness, akhanda ekarasam vastu satchidananda lakshanam. With eyes open, when you look at the world again, or in every experience that we have, that isness is there. You notice it is akhanda. Whatever you see, hear, smell, touch, taste, touch, every object in the world, every sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, isness is there. Is it not? Otherwise you could not experience it. It is akhanda. Is it not ekarasam? The isness is everywhere the same. The objects are very different. Some you like, some you dislike, some are living, some are non-living, some are far off stars and galaxies, some are nearby a glass of water, table. These are all objects, but everywhere isness is the same. Ekarasam. Like this you appreciate. If at any time the objects, see the names and forms are very powerful, so they will attract our attention again. And I start treating it as a specific object. Instead of isness, no, this is a table, that is a human being, that is a chair. Then again in that notice the isness. And come back to this one. Then after some time, it will merge into Nirvikalpa samadhi, which is the same as the Nirvikalpa samadhi. Nirvikalpa samadhi, there is no difference. The same as the Nirvikalpa samadhi, which you came through internal samadhi. Stabdhi bhavo rasa swada, stabdhi bhava rasa swada, tritiya purvavadmataha, tritiya purvavadmataha, etai samadhibhir shadbhi, etai samadhibhir shadbhi, nayet kalam nirantaram, nayet kalam nirantaram. The insensibility of the mind to external objects as before, on account of the experience of bliss, is designated as the third kind of samadhi, Nirvikalpa. The practitioner should uninterruptedly spend his time in these 6 kinds of samadhi. So, when you do that, after some time what will happen? A current of bliss flows and one wants to stay with that. You don't want to repeat any text, akhanda ekarasam vastu, satchidananda lakshanam. You drop that. Drop the object, drop the text. Just stay with that stillness and bliss. So, rasaswadat. Rasaswadat, then what will happen? Stabdhi bhava. Absorption. No thought is there anymore. Not even any analysis, not even any text, akhanda, ekarasam, vastu, satchida, all of that, let it go. Those are all activities of the mind. The currents of the mind, the vrittis of the mind should stop, but not fall asleep. The mind is fully awake, more awake than ever before, in just sense of that existence. No longer sense of that existence. We are actually in contact, we are that existence. And this is, he says, this is the third samadhi, purvavat mataha. Just like the third samadhi which we saw, 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 6. So this is exactly like that. Now what do you do? Etai samadhibhi shadbhi. Practicing these 6 kinds of samadhis as you like. Is given you an option. Nait kalam nirantaram. Spend your time without break. Uninterruptedly for long periods of time. Give it a lot of effort. Everything will become clear for you. And it will become a steady presence in our lives. No longer theoretical. No longer something in the book. But an undeniable and choiceless presence. After that you can't walk back from it. Once you have seen, it's forever. As they say in America, no backseas. It cannot be returned. So this becomes, and all of this Ramakrishna says, Advaita Gyan Achole Vede Jaichetai Karo. He says it is just the foundation of spiritual life. Make this your foundation, then do whatever you like. You want to do bhakti, you can do bhakti. You want to carry on a business, you can carry on a business. Want means, after that what happens is basically Ishvara Ichcha in your life. Something will manifest. Or you want to remain completely absorbed in this, you may. I am saying you want, but the want is no longer, because the mind is not treated as your own mind. Something will come from, you can say Ishvara. Vedantins will say it is your prarabdha karma. It will take your life along in that way. Swami Vivekananda, in his song of Sannyasin, he says, heed no more how body lives or dies. Let karma float it down. Its task is done. Like that he says. So this is the 6th kind. After this, all doubts will be gone. 30th. Dehabhimane galite, Dehabhimane galite, Vijñāte paramatmani, Vijñāte paramatmani, Yatra yatra mano yati, Yatra yatra mano yati, Tatra tatra samadhayah, Tatra tatra samadhayah. With the disappearance of the attachment to the body and with the realization of the Supreme Self, to whatever objects the mind is directed, one experiences samadhi. What a tremendous thing. For us to attain samadhi is a lifelong task. With careful meditation, seriously done, leading a pure and disciplined life, and over many years and decades. He says, now a state will come, whatever comes to the mind will lead to samadhi. Somebody closed an umbrella in front of Sri Ramakrishna. He went into samadhi. Just a suggestion you can gather in. You'll begin to understand what might have happened to Sri Ramakrishna. Just this idea of turning inwards, immediately, that vast radiance is there. It sucks you in, and you will be there. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhaya. If any vritti comes earlier, I had to replace, no, I cannot think about that. I have to think Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Now, whatever you think, consciousness is there. Isness is there. It becomes very clear. That becomes a doorway to consciousness, to isness, to Asti Bhati Priya. Yatra yatra mano yati, tatra tatra samadhaya. Swami Turiyananda ji used to say that when he was in Rishikesh, for he spent long time in tapasya, he would say, he said his whole day's routine would be 1 hour he would go out for taking a bath in the Ganges, in the Ganga, and he would go for bhiksha. But the rest of the day, part, jap, dhyan, jap, part. Sometimes he would be merged in deep meditation, sometimes he would be repeating a mantra, other times studying Upanishads, Gita, other Vedantic texts. Whole day would go into study of Vedanta. No electricity. As sunset, darkness fell, the monks would retire to their cottages. Those were cottages of leaves and twigs and branches. He would retire to that, and he says he would spend the night in meditation. Whole night. At one time, he says his desire for sleep left him. So he would spend the night in meditation and the morning in study and going for the bhiksha and Ganga bath and things like that. Almost 24 hours absorption. Then after 6 days, he says he got scared. And then he tried to sleep And he says he was so happy when he got half an hour of sleep. And then he says slowly the ability to sleep came back. So such a life can be led. Turiyananji demonstrates that. Final result. Bhidyate hridaya granthi, Vidyate hridaya granthi, Chidyante sarva samshaya, Chidyante sarva samshaya, Kshiyante chasya karmani, Kshiyante chasya karmani, Tasmin drishte paravare, Tasmin drishte paravare. By beholding him who is high and low, the fetters of the heart are broken, all doubts are resolved, and all his karmas, activities and their effects wear away. Tasmin drishte paravare. By realizing, experiencing, knowing that one which is high and low, transcendent and immanent. Vivekananda says, we Hindus worship a transcendent, immanent God. God who is beyond the Turiya, who is beyond waking, dreaming and sleeping, who is beyond the gross, subtle and causal. Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Vilakshana Atma. Avasthatraya, Sakshi Atma, the Turiya. That is the high, transcendent. Nirguna Brahman, transcendent, beyond all attributes, beyond samsara. But also Saguna Brahman. Consciousness with Maya, which is all this. The isness in all this. The consciousness which is the golden thread in all our experiences. So, the high and the low, the transcendent and the immanent, you can interpret it in this way. Upanishad this is actually a direct quote from Mundaka Upanishad. It's a quotation. This is phala, result. What is the result of all this? Once you realize this, basically he is saying, go up to the roof of the house and then come down. Realize what the roof is made of, then see what the whole house is made of. Once you have done this, your job is complete. This is full enlightenment. Then what will be the result? First, bhidyate hridaya granthi. That bondage, we had said, Bevkufi matra hai Mahatma ji. That you go back. What is the connection of ego to Sakshi? No connection, ignorance. Technically ignorance, in politically correct language, ignorance. In straightforward, crude language, Bevkufi. Stupidity only is the connection. That will be cut forever. Bhidyate hridaya granthi, the knot of the heart is cut asunder. Sounds like a cardiac procedure, like a medical procedure. No. It is. Knots of the heart means the ignorance in our heart or ignorance in our mind. That is, and he says it's cut. That which links us to the body, mind, ego, that link is cut. And the link is only ignorance. There was really no link at all. Bhidyate hridaya granthi. Ignorance is gone forever. Then what will happen? First sign, chidyante sarva samshaya. All doubts are gone forever. This is the person who has seen the reality, has thoroughly understood, or as it's clear to that person. This is very different from a person who has got an intellectual clarity. If you understand something intellectually, that can be shaken again. It can be doubted. If another clever philosopher comes and gives even more clever arguments, you can doubt it. Or if one's own life becomes so hard and difficult that our mind becomes very body conscious again, you can doubt it. Maybe all that was just theory. So this is, just understanding can be shaken by another kind of understanding, by other arguments, or by the experiences of life. It can be shaken. But this cannot be shaken. Chidyante sarva samshaya. No more doubt can ever come. As fully enlightened, but after 20 years of full enlightenment, now some doubt has come. No, that was not full enlightenment in that case. Some doubt. That was not full enlightenment. Maybe some spiritual insight had come. But this is a sign of the path of jnana. Jnana gives you conviction pretty early. Even the understanding gives you a clarity which cannot be shaken easily. And bhakti in the initial stages can be shaken easily. Doubt can come. Is it all imagination? But this one, my own existence, how can it be imagination? And then the rest of it, you just see. put it in bare words, the rest of what we did was an exploration of my indubitable existence. Chidyante sarva samshaya. Okay, let me give you a new insight into Tat Tvam Asi. That you are, Tat Tvam Asi. That is the essential teaching of Vedanta. Traditionally, what does Tat Tvam Asi mean? Tat Tvam Asi means, Tat means Saguna Brahman, Ishvara, Bhagavan. Consciousness with the power of Maya. Tvam means that same consciousness with an individual causal body, subtle body, gross body. With cosmic upadhi, consciousness, Ishvara, Tat. With individual upadhi, consciousness, the individual jiva. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. It's like saying you are that. But we will say, no, I am a jiva, that is Ishvara. What is common to both? Then in Tat Tvam Asi we will do what is called Mahavakya Artha Vichara, analysis of the Mahavakya. And we say, the reality of Ishvara is pure consciousness, my reality is pure consciousness. How do you know? Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka, courtesy the Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka. I am Sakshi, pure consciousness. In that sense, as pure consciousness, as Shuddha Chaitanya, Tat Tvam Asi, Ishvara and Jiva are Aikya, Brahmatma Aikya, the identity of Brahman and the individual. So this is the teaching traditionally. But this can be understood in another way. I mean, in other ways, you can expand upon it. In one sense, it gives you the big picture of spirituality and religion. So, Tat Tvam Asi. It is very natural. Tvam is the individual, Tat is the object. So, our spirituality can be that centered or self-inquiry based. So, one type of religion is God-centered, Tat-centered. Another type of religion is Tvam-based. I am not saying Tvam-centered, self-centered sounds very bad. So, God-centered, God-based. Christianity, Islam, Judaism, the Middle Eastern religions. So, in fact, that's the only kind of religion that they were used to until recently. So, that's why when Buddhism, they come across Buddhism, they become puzzled. How can this be a religion? For them, religion means God. It means faith in God, belief in something. So, this is, and it's a valid path. It's absolutely correct. God-centered, Tat-centered religions. In contrast, there can be Tvam-based religion. For example, Buddhism, Jainism. In Hinduism also you will find both kinds. In Hinduism you will find Sankhya, Patanjali Yoga. These are all individual inquiry religions or spiritual paths. In Sankhya, the objective is not God. There is no God mentioned in Sankhya. In Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, God is mentioned, but that's not the objective. The objective is to realize yourself as Purusha apart from Prakriti, that consciousness separated from object. Now these are two paths. One is a search for God, another is the search for who am I. Each path has its advantage, each path has its disadvantage. What is the disadvantage of the God-based approach? It's faith, it's belief. The advantage of the God-based approach is God is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, all glories are wonderful. God has no problems at all. If God exists, that's the only problem. The existence of God can be and has been doubted. In every age they were atheists, agnostics, in every civilization. God, you may believe in God, you may not believe in God, or you may believe in a different God. Because it's a matter of faith, it's a matter of opinion. Shankaracharya says, Kattum akattum anyatha vakattum shakyate. Whereas in contrast, the advantage of the self-inquiry based approaches, Tvam based approaches, you cannot doubt your own existence. The one thing in the universe which we cannot doubt is our own existence. That was Descartes' original project, the sure basis of all knowledge. Everything can be doubted, he said. What is the one thing which cannot be doubted? On that basis, I will build the superstructure of knowledge. And he found the only thing that cannot be doubted is my own existence. Cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I exist. And actually, it means consciousness gives its own verification. Not only I think, therefore I exist. I sit, therefore I exist. I talk, therefore I exist. I suffer, therefore I exist. any conscious experience, it gives you, it comes with its own self-certification that it exists. You cannot doubt it. Now, I exist, it cannot be doubted. But the problem with the self-inquiry path, I exist, it cannot be doubted, that's great. But this existence itself is the problem. I have a health problem, monetary problem, relationship problem, and now more spiritual problem, Vedantic problem, moksha problem. Yeah. So I have endless problems. God has no problems. I surely exist, but I have too many problems. God, doubtful existence, but no problems. Now, what these two paths, what Vedanta does, you notice I have not mentioned Advaita yet. Advaita Vedanta, what it does, it brings them together. It brings the indubitable existence of the self together with the limitlessness of God and shows that indubitable existence to be a limitless existence. Let me repeat that. Your own indubitable existence, your existence which cannot be refuted, irrefutable existence, and God's infinity, they are brought together by Tat Tvam Asi. And it is demonstrated to you, this indubitable existence is also the infinite existence. If you are infinite, problem-free. If you are indubitable, doubt-free. So, now you realize something, Atman, Brahman, which cannot be doubted and which is free of all problems. And Tat Tvam Asi, you are that Atman. No? This is a new way of looking at it. Okay. Chidyante sarva samshaya. That's why we are discussing it. All doubts will go away. All doubts will go away. It is possible to doubt in theistic religions. In Advaita Vedanta, if you have a doubt, it just means we have not understood it yet. Inquire again, listen again, it will become clear. Then you cannot doubt. Just as you cannot doubt your own existence, for the same reason, you cannot doubt the Advaitic truth. Okay. Kshiyante chasya karmani. It will give you moksha. The way it is put here is, all our accumulated karmas are burnt up. One devotee comes to Sri Ramakrishna and says, I have committed so many sins in my life. And a mountain of sins. And Sri Ramakrishna says, oh, to Tulor Pahad, it is a mountain of cotton. Set fire to it, it will burn up in a trice. But what is the fire? It is God realization, Brahma Jnana. Kshiyante chasya karmani. The entire mountain of sins will burn up in a trice, in a flash. All the accumulated karmas will be destroyed. Now, little further analysis. This idea of karma, good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. Vivekananda says, whosoever wears a form wears the chain too. The chain is prarabdha karma. Now, what we have done in ancient lives, past lives, the results of all that are accumulated. Part of it becomes this present life. Another part of it will become next life. Those who manage inventory, they know, what is it? Last in, first out, first in, first last, FIFO, LIFO, first in, first out. All those things are there like that. So, we don't know which procedure God is following, but some part of our karma becomes actualized and becomes prarabdha in each life. Now, the analysis in Vedanta is, our life is caused by that karma. So, whatever is stored up will be destroyed by enlightenment, but whatever has been actualized already will continue till it's exhausted by the experiences in this body. That's why this body will keep on living. Otherwise, it would die immediately. If prarabdha karma is also destroyed by realization, this body would die. Question is raised, if this is true, kshiyante chasya karmani, then enlightened person should die. It should evaporate immediately. But the enlightened person does not die. And the answer given in Vedanta is, all karmas are destroyed means all the accumulated karmas, which are called sanchita and agami, they are destroyed. There is an analysis about it. And prarabdha karma will continue, and you will continue to experience, the jivan mukta will continue to experience the effects of prarabdha karma. However, this is only first analysis. Second analysis is that from the jivan mukta's perspective is also free of the prarabdha karma, because jivan mukta realizes, I am Brahman, I am pure consciousness. The experiences are going on at the body-mind level. It's like the experiences of another body-mind for the enlightened person. So really the Jivan Mukta is free of karma from their own subjective perspective. From our perspective, the life and the body of that enlightened one continues. Another deeper, final perspective from the Advaitic perspective, Shankaracharya, in Aparoksha Anubhuti, he says, actually none of this is true. The moment you realize you are Brahman, you will realize you never had any karma at all. There was no agami karma, no sanchita karma, no past life, no present life, no future life. Brahman was never born. You will realize that. So this whole question becomes moot from the perspective of Brahman, which is the perspective of the enlightened one. They lose interest. Let me check my karma balance. Has it really been nullified? Or do I have to again call the karma bank? Hey, I have got enlightenment. Why my karma is still showing debit side?
Why does the subtle bodies disintegrate after the death of the body?
No, wait. First of all, this highest perspective, let us first listen to this. This is extremely serious. This is the last word on the topic. Many people don't discuss it. When you ask about why Jivan Mukta is possible, then the standard answer you will get is what I gave you. That Agami and Sanchita are destroyed by knowledge and Prarabdha will continue. And they'll give many examples. Bowman is shooting arrows. So the arrows in the quiver, arrows in the hand are dropped, will not shoot anymore. But the one which has been released, it will fly. You cannot bring it back. The one which is released is this body-mind. Such answers are given. But I am telling you what is the next level analysis, the deeper meaning of all this. Shankaracharya says, no such thing as agami karma, prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, all those will become meaningless for the enlightened one. Because the enlightened one realizes I am Satchidananda. I was never born. It's not that I was born and I went through a cycle of births and deaths. Finally, in the last birth, I came to Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka and I was freed now. Good. Huh? And Sharada Tapovan. And I was freed. Good riddance to all those bad karmas. No. What will be our realization? I was never in samsara. It was always all right. So that is the paramarthika analysis. Now, in the Vyavaharika level, that Sanchita and Agami will be destroyed, Prarabdha will continue. And as you said, at the death of the body, what is the difference between enlightened one, death of enlightened one and death of unenlightened ones? The death of the enlightened one is different from the unenlightened one. The death of the unenlightened one is what? The destruction of the body. Because Prarabdha karma is exhausted, this body will die. But the subtle body, carrying the reflected consciousness, will go to another body. Transmigration. This utkramana, janma mrityu cycle will go on. Another body, another body. What will go on? The subtle body. Subtle body continues. It will not die with the death of the body. It will carry the baggage of all past lives. All the data, all the debit and credit will go with it. Now, for the enlightened one, Mundaka Upanishad says very beautifully, Gata Kala Pancha Dasha Pratishtha. He says, not only the physical body, Stula Sharira, it goes back. Space to space, air to air, fire to fire, earth to water, earth to earth. But the subtle body, which is also composed of tanmatras, that also goes back to Prakriti. Then no more subtle body remains. Brahma and the Jivan Mukta, realized as Brahman, remains as Brahman. From Jivan Mukta's perspective, no problem. There will be no continuity. Jivan Mukta does not mind if another body appears. Because not at all this body, what to speak of another body. But from our side, accounts should be clear. We had promised Jivan Mukta will be free of cycle of birth and death. Please give me the mechanism. How? Because at that point, subtle body also will fall apart. Why will it fall apart? Because karmas are not there to sustain it for the next birth. Prarabdha is over. Maya also has, Ishvara through Maya had provided this vehicle for us, for our spiritual enlightenment and moksha. You have attained moksha? Good. Congratulations. Then, no need, you don't need the vehicle anymore. It's Uber. It's dropped to you. You have reached your destination. If you say, I won't get off. No. You have to get off. I went on a driverless cab ride in San Francisco. And then, very interesting. And they said, you please sit in the front so you can enjoy the whole process. We have reached the destination. The car is saying, we are looking for a good place to drop you off. Then, this is a good place to get off. And the doors are opening, the doors will open and it will wait patiently. Go. So, samsara is over. The game of life is over for you. You have reached moksha. That means what you always were. You have set free from the cage. Earlier we were going from one cage to another cage. Now you are set free from all cages into your infinitude. That is moksha. The signs are there. What will happen? So that is like a clock ticking. And then at one point it stops. Because what you wound it up, it's run out. Yes. Kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. Swami Vivekananda puts it directly. Far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. No, thou art sannyasi bold. That thou art sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. So, but tied to name and form, karma is, you're bound to karma. You realize you are not the name and form, you're free. You're far beyond karma. Karma has no hold on you. This is what Dṛg-Dṛśya-Viveka does. So 31st verse is actually the conclusion of the book. It's a good place to stop. The teaching is complete. Again another section starts, few more verses. Some scholars say it has been added. You can read if you like. It seems to repeat the same teaching in another way. And it's a strange thing to do after giving the phala, result. So in some editions they have added it seems. So Nikhilanji Maharaj, he says here, the realization, Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati from Mundaka Upanishad. The knower of Brahman verily becomes Brahman. Becomes Brahman means you realize you already were Brahman. Brahma Vidapnoti Param from Taittiriya Upanishad. The knower of Brahman attains the highest. Tarati Shokam Atmavit, Chandogya Upanishad. The knower of the self, the true nature of the self, goes beyond sorrow. Abhayam Vai Janaka Praptosi from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. O Janaka, you have reached fearlessness, the true ground of fearlessness. Taveva Viditva Ati Mrityumeti, Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Knowing that, one goes beyond death. So these are, throughout the Upanishad, the result has been said in glorious terms, what you will get from Brahma Jnana. Swasti Vahparaya Bhavatu. The Mundaka Upanishad ends with, may your paths be auspicious. The teacher is telling all the disciples, you are all spiritual seekers on the journey. And with both hands raised as if the teacher is blessing, may your path, in English you say Godspeed, may your paths be blessed, and your paths to enlightenment and freedom. Why I am saying this is, just before coming here, we found this lady approached us in America saying that I have a book signed by Swami Vivekananda. So she is a descendant of Josephine MacLeod. And Swami Vivekananda had given this gift to a niece of Josephine MacLeod. It's a translation of the Bhagavad Gita into English by Mohini Mohan Chatterjee. And Swami Vivekananda signed it and said that Swasti Vaparaya Bhavatu, may the ways in your life, all your ways be auspicious and blessed. And Vivekananda signed it. And there is also a letter by Vivekananda included in that book. They have preserved it for more than 100 years.
He gave it to you?
Yes, and I'm taking it to Belur Math. It's with me now. Yeah, it's covered in cloth and kept there. It's very thrilling to see the book and see Vivekananda's own signature, his writing. It will go in the museum, into Belur Math Museum.
Is there any recording at all of the Swami Vivekananda?
No, in the internet it's circulating, but it's not genuine. So unfortunately, it could have been recorded, but unfortunately, one song it seems it was recorded by Maharaja of Mysore, but that is not decipherable anymore. It couldn't be decoded anymore. I mean, it's damaged beyond recovery. Yes, let me do the peace chant. Then you have a bunch of questions. We'll deal with that, and the final ceremonies we will do. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Rama Krishna Rupanamastu. Look at that, we ended before.